The White House battles to revive its crime bill as the Republicans set new terms for supporting it. And mediators are batting zero so far in their efforts to end the baseball strike. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. President Clinton told Congress today he will not give up a ban on assault weapons in order to revive his $33 billion crime bill. But just hours after he made that statement in his Saturday radio address, Republicans said the ban must be stripped from the bill and voted on separately if the administration wants their support. The partisan fight has also put the fate of health care legislation into further jeopardy, raising questions now as to whether either house can vote on that before Labor Day. We're going to start with Eric Engberg and the maneuvering on the crime legislation.
Republicans today dictated their terms for helping President Clinton save the crime bill that was sidetracked in a surprise House vote 2 days ago. In order to capture enough Republican votes to pass, leaders said the White House must remove the previously passed ban on assault weapons from the crime bill, then resubmit it to both houses for a standalone vote.
None of them are involved in normal, everyday armed robberies, etc. So let's be straight. 99.99% can be done by passing the crime bill without that ban.
But splitting the assault weapons ban off from the rest of the crime bill would likely mean its death when it came to the Senate. Republicans are also demanding cutbacks on funds the crime bill carries for research and social programs.
When 94% of their party, at the direction of their leadership, insist, in conjunction with the special interest, to defeat this bill, then clearly the blame must fall on their feet.
Those who voted the wrong way on this bill are catching a lot of hell back home.
Democratic strategists are optimistic about turning around enough of the 58 Democratic no votes to win on the second go-round. They only need 8. The White House is putting together a list of Democrats who face punitive measures if they desert the president on the crime bill replay that's likely next week. It's topped by 2 senior committee chairmen, Lee Hamilton of Foreign Affairs and Kika de la Garza of Agriculture, who will be warned they could lose their chairmanships. Anyone hoping for a committee or subcommittee chairmanship will be told a yes vote on crime is now part of their job application. Also facing pressure, 5 Democrats who lied when they promised the leadership that backed the White House last time. Even if that or something else works, the time lost on the crime bill worsens the prospects for health care reform, now mired down in partisan bickering in both houses. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
Senators have been making speeches for a week now on health care and had hoped to begin voting on various aspects of the bill last night, but instead fell into another nasty round of partisan bickering, and as for tonight, have still not begun to vote. Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Minnesota, Senator David Durenberger, Republican, a member of a bipartisan group trying to find some compromise on health care. Senator, thank you for joining us. Perhaps you can explain what's going on. Why are the Republicans not letting this bill come to the floor and start votes on it?
Well, it's a complex bill. If you remember, Bob, Bill Clinton, when he came to office, promised to get us a bill in 100 days, and it took him more like 300 days to do it. It's a tough subject. We just saw the Majority Leader Mitchell's bill this week, and we've seen a couple of iterations of it. And what's going on is not a challenge to Mitchell as much as it is everyone trying to take on the challenge of coming up with something that will resemble true health care reform and will pass.
Well, I know that you're working with this group of Republicans and Democrats to find some sort of compromise that could pass the Senate. Is it your view, Senator Durenberger, at this point that the bill that Senator Mitchell brought to the floor, the bill that the president supports, is that bill all but dead?
Well, there's a classic difference here in the approaches. The Clinton, Kennedy, Gephardt, Mitchell approach defines the problem as the uninsured and the solution as universal coverage. And the cost projected out 10 years from now is a $2+ trillion a year system. The rest of us, the 2 major bipartisan efforts and the Republican efforts, say costs are the problem. We got to get costs under control by changing the system, and we'll move to universal coverage gradually through a fail-safe mechanism and make sure we can pay for it when we do it.
Now, your group has been meeting for weeks now trying to develop that compromise. Where exactly are you on this? Do you expect next week to submit a package of proposals and what in effect would be a substitute bill?
Sure. What we've done is really combine three bills. We've taken the Chafee bill, which became Chafee-Kerry bipartisan, and then the Bro-Dernberger-Cooper-Grandy unicameral bill, and we combined those with a bill that passed through the Finance Committee on July 2nd. And that's our product will be out Tuesday, probably about the same time that what is called Roland Bilirakis, a bipartisan bill on the House side, becomes a bipartisan Senate bill in the names of Sam Nunn and Pete Domenici.
As I understand it, your bill would be less bureaucratic than the bill that Senator Mitchell is sponsoring. It would try to have less government intervention. Tell me quickly a couple of other points that you think would be important about your bill.
Well, it picks up on the reform that's going on out in America right now. Insurance reform, the way we buy gets reformed, antitrust reform, medical liability reform, and then reforming the coverage system so that everyone in America can start buying private health plans, including the elderly, the disabled, and low-income people.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Senator Dernberger.
You're welcome, Doc.
A public interest watchdog group, Congress Watch, says that the already controversial new White House or Whitewater Special Counsel, Kenneth Starr, will become a walking conflict of interest, in their words, unless he takes a leave of absence from his Washington law firm. But the firm has confirmed to CBS News that it does not anticipate that Starr will be doing that. The watchdog group says that could prove awkward since the firm actively lobbies the government on behalf of various clients. Well, the baseball strike went into its second day, and the news there is no news. David Culhane has a report on that.
Day 2, millionaire owners versus millionaire players. Here's what's happening. Both sides accepted an offer to meet with the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service in New York. First, the owner's representative came out, hardly conciliated.
There are 800 baseball players whose average income is $1,200,000 who went out on strike, thus depriving millions of fans of the opportunity to watch baseball.
Then the players' representative spent some time with the feds and came out, hardly conciliated.
The owners decided they were going to have a strike to see if they could break the players on this issue, and there hasn't been time to test that yet. Now, I don't know how long they're going to go.
Which leaves the strike, so to speak, still on first base. With 14 games wiped out yesterday, 14 more today, and more than likely another 14 tomorrow. The main issue is still the players' refusal to accept the salary cap the owners say is necessary to solve their alleged economic problems.
Center field, Junior's 40th home run of the year.
Fans are finding a variety of ways to express their extreme displeasure for having their interests apparently ignored by the two groups of millionaires.
Because I want the Indians here, and I want everybody to play ball.
In Sacramento, California, this owner of a sports bar has, so to speak, gone through the roof, or at least gone to his roof, and says he will stay there until the strike is over. In Cincinnati, Ohio, disc jockey Wildman Walker chained himself to the baseball stadium fence. The police finally unchained him and said if he didn't cut it out, they'd find another place to lock him up. And so, sports fans, that's all there is to say on day 2. Except to show you the awful emptiness here on the Field of Dreams. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
And on a far different front, the United States and North Korea are both applauding their new agreement on the status of Korea's nuclear program. But while the agreement averts an immediate confrontation, it also leaves many key issues up in the air. Cindy Kennard has more on that.
It's not exactly a done deal, but the agreement does break a dangerous deadlock. The key ingredient, the U.S. puts together a $4 billion aid package to keep North Korea from developing nuclear weapons.
While this agreement does capture the areas which are significant of agreement between us, there are many important issues that remain to be resolved.
For example, North Korea will permit inspections of its nuclear facilities, but won't say when. Also unresolved, the fate of thousands of spent nuclear fuel rods, which experts believe could produce enough material for 5 nuclear bombs. North Korea's foreign minister calls today's agreement a significant step, but it's far from enough, say some experts.
It doesn't get at the real issue, that is to roll their program back to zero.
A program which last spring provoked an international crisis. It sent neighboring South Korea into a state of emergency, preparing for war. Tensions eased only when former U.S. President Jimmy Carter extracted a nuclear freeze pledge from President Kim Il-sung when the two met in June. Talks were halted weeks later when he suddenly died. With the country moving toward new leadership, it appears more flexible, as does the U.S., which pledges to end North Korea's isolation and allow diplomatic representation in Washington. Not a final resolution, but a significant move away from the confrontational climate just months ago. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, London.
German police today confirmed their largest seizure yet of bomb-grade plutonium, the third seizure in 4 months. The material was seized and 3 men arrested when their flight from Moscow arrived in Munich last Wednesday. Chancellor Helmut Kohl is urging a Russian crackdown on nuclear smuggling. Well, still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, hundreds of thousands turn out for Woodstock 94, and champion golfer Paul Azinger trying for a comeback after a battle with cancer.
Now at Red Lobster, we're bringing together your 3 favorite kinds of shrimp. It's our shrimp trio, just $9.99. Overflowing with grilled shrimp, fried shrimp, and scampi. Just $9.99 for a short time at Red Lobster.
Some days it would help if there were more than one of you. It could also help if you're cooking on a Whirlpool range. This Whirlpool has easy-to-use controls that program simply, and a self-cleaning oven, in case you're needed someplace else. And because you can't always watch the sauce pot, the Whirlpool Clean Top system lets you wipe up spills fast. Sure, one of you can do it, because together, you and Whirlpool know how to make a home run.
Now's the best time to buy tires at Sears. All Michelin road handlers are on sale at the very lowest prices of the year. Through September 10th, Michelin road handlers are as low as $27.99. Get to Sears Tire and Auto Center today.
You like food. You get heartburn. You take Maalox. Life is good.
And don't forget great tasting Maalox tablets, too.
Newsweek magazine reports tonight that telephone records show Nicole Brown Simpson's last phone conversation with her mother ended at 9:42 p.m. on the night of her murder. A source close to the case tells CBS News the report is probably accurate. O.J. Simpson's defense team has been trying to establish that the call ended about a half hour later. For the Woodstock generation, it was a repeat in more ways than one. Many of the bands featured at the Rock Festival revival today played at the original 25 years ago, but it was the weather that really brought back the memories. Giselle Fernandez is there.
If they wanted a real revival of the original Love and Mudfest, they got it. Torrential rain pounded down on Woodstock 94 as nearly 300,000 fans crowded the concert site.
This is making it feel more like 69.
For Mother Nature, a repeat performance. It was a similar downpour at the 69 Fest that original Woodstockers say earned them their stripes. Then, just as now, sunshine didn't clear up all the problems.
This is probably the worst part of Woodstock.
Inside the gates, sanitation concerns are mounting. Outside, authorities, overwhelmed by thousands still trying to get in, tried to unclog jammed roadways. Some angry and stranded travelers broke through fences, but many were turned away.
There's no organization whatsoever. I mean, this sucks completely. And we just want out. We want out of here. We don't even want to be anything part of it.
The one, the only, Mr. Joe Cocker!
But then the headliners came out and reminded concertgoers why they were here. It was the trip down memory lane nostalgia seekers hoped for. 25 years ago, a young Joe Cocker electrified the crowds.
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Today, a quarter century later, an encore. And he had plenty of friends in the crowd.
He's got the soul and he knows how to sing.
Cocker himself said after 25 years he felt a little older up there and wasn't used to the new style of dancing.
Does it look much different than 1969?
Well, I'm not used to all that bouncing routine.
The moshing is new for you.
Yeah, that's brand new for me. I mean, even in Europe, we don't get much of that. So my fatherly instincts were coming out saying, now be careful, you know.
Then it was on to the new generation.
What do you think that they would say?
An eclectic mix of music that even the oldsters in the crowd were getting into.
We can sit in a rocking chair when we're old men and go, we were there.
That's right, through all the difficulties, through all the rain and shine. But unfortunately, forecasters are predicting even more showers later this evening. But as you can see behind me, that is not stopping the show. Crosby, Stills, and Nash on the big north stage right now, reviving old memories, creating new ones. Then later on, it is heavy metal night with names such as 9 Inch Nails, Metallica, and here's one I actually know, Aerosmith. So, Bob, call me crazy, but you strike me as a big 9 Inch Nails fan, right?
Me?
Yeah, the Washington types. After the crime bill, you go home and you listen to 9 Inch Nails.
Well, I'll wait till good weather for that.
We'll keep a tent here for you.
All right. In the waters off Florida today, the Coast Guard is on patrol, warning patrol owners that the Justice Department will prosecute anyone going into Cuban waters to bring refugees into the United States. Officials are hoping to head off a potential flood of Cuban refugees. And a firefighting plane has crashed in the San Bernardino Mountains in Southern California. At least 2 people were killed. The Forest Service C-130 was on its way to fight a brush fire in Kern County. Authorities are investigating the possibility the plane crashed as a result of a mid-air collision. It's the second crash this summer of a plane fighting Western flying fight.
Is the gray in your mustache or beard making you look too old? Now there's Just for Men Brush-In Color Gel, specially for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. This brush-in gel stays put to penetrate hard-to-color hair. In 5 minutes, rinse. Your mustache or beard blends with your natural hair color, and it won't fade or wash out.
Now that's a lot better.
Just for Men Color Gel, from the leader in men's hair coloring.
You know, there's nothing more fun than a vacation at sea. You can lounge in the fresh air, visit romantic ports, enjoy fine dining, great shows, pampered service. I love it here. There's so much to do.
Holly, Hal, hi, Kathy.
Hi, Richard. What are you doing here?
Having the time of my life.
Oh.
If my friends can see me now.
Take a 3, 4, or 7-day vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
I love this ship.
Some people are discovering something highly irregular.
Excuse me, is this the right price?
About the price of Metamucil.
This can't be the right price.
It's lower, surprisingly lower.
I'm getting the big size.
Still the same high Metamucil quality. Still the same natural fiber you depend on for regularity.
That's odd.
Why does it mark wrong?
I don't know.
Let's get 2.
Yeah.
Metamucil, the natural choice for regularity. Now at a new lower price.
I'm Charles Osgood. We'll go hunting, not for birds, but for bird sounds. Trophies for Cornell's Library of Natural Sounds. Hope you'll join us this Sunday morning.
The first German to head NATO, Secretary General Manfred Werner, died today of cancer at 59 with the end of the Cold War. He guided NATO into new peacekeeping duties and backed the use of force in the former Yugoslavia. In Bosnia, Serb leaders again rejected a peace plan while Serb forces tried unsuccessfully to raid 3 UN arms depots. In Sarajevo, a funeral was held today for a young girl killed by a Serb sniper. She was playing near her home when she was hit by a bullet that ricocheted off the ground. In Moscow, many Russians still can't accept a stark reality that they have lost their savings in a massive investment fund scam. It's been a rude introduction to capitalism, and Jonathan Sanders has the story.
At MMM Company headquarters, a hunger strike is now in its 7th day. Russia's summer scandal, the devastating collapse of a giant pyramid scheme, has turned investors into protesters. Hands off, MMM, they cry, even though many have lost their life savings. And hands off is the policy President Boris Yeltsin favors, no government bailouts. He says, let it be a lesson to those who would believe promises of 1,000% profits. But many here did believe MMM's relentless ad campaign promising riches and travel abroad. And the government is taking its share of the blame for not regulating MMM sooner.
The rules are being created as we go along, and the Americans had the same experience. You have to make some mistakes which are embarrassing or difficult or very painful for some people.
The government's finally moved to save itself from further embarrassment by sending in the tax police to arrest MMM's founder, Sergei Mavrodi. But Mavrodi loyalists gathered outside his jail cell this week to celebrate their hero's birthday. They insist it's Mavrodi's magic, not government reforms, that will lead them out of the mess left behind by communism's collapse.
This company, it is the first real people company.
They're desperate, and desperation breeds in any people a desire, a hope for a miraculous solution, a willingness to take crazy risks.
The government says there will be no miracles for the millions who lost out in the MMM scam. And they expect that Russians will, in time, learn one of capitalism's most painful lessons. Let the buyer beware. Jonathan Sanders, CBS News, Moscow.
Okay, if the moon was really made out of cheese, I'd be an astronaut. Healthy Choice makes real cheese with skim milk, so it's naturally fat-free. I love their shredded cheddar. I put it on practically everything. I put it in taco salads. I put it on nachos. I put it in my famous tortilla torpedoes. Cheese is the center of my food universe. I even put cheese on my cheese. Oh, and the Healthy Choice singles, they make a great grilled cheese sandwich. Without cheese, I am nothing. With Healthy Choice, I eat what I like.
Cheese. Well, we're here with tropical fish dealer Rudy Laszlo, who thinks his zipper bags are fine and won't switch to Gladlock zipper bags.
That's correct.
Rudy, what do you say we drop these piranhas here into your little fish heaven?
No.
Sealed in either your bag or the Gladlock bag with the yellow and blue make green seal, which means the bag is closed. Your bag doesn't have a green seal.
These are my little friends. Use the Gladlock.
When it really counts, get Gladlock. Can you hear that? They're applauding you. Rudy, Rudy, Rudy.
You like food. You get heartburn. You take Maalox. Life is good.
And don't forget great tasting Maalox tablets, too.
A stunning setback for the president on crime. What does this mean for health care reform? Chief of Staff Leon Panetta, Senator Bourne, and Senator Breaux face the nation Sunday.
Last year's PGA golf champion was eliminated yesterday halfway through the '94 tournament. But Paul Azinger knows now there are more important things than just winning a trophy. Vicki Mabry reports from Tulsa.
From Parrish, Florida, the 1993 PGA champion, Paul Azinger.
Paul Azinger came back to defend the title he won last year. But what a long way from victory to losing all hope of a repeat.
Right now I feel like I'm living a dream being back out.
When he could barely hold up the winning trophy, Azinger knew he could not ignore the discomfort in his right shoulder anymore. A few months later, he was diagnosed with lymphoma, a form of cancer. He was out of the game for 9 months.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind or in his mind that he would be back here?
No, it wasn't.
For Azinger and his wife, Tony, winning is no longer the issue. Just being alive to play the game is what counts.
He's not feeling any discomfort in his arm at all. So as far as we're concerned, we have it behind us.
We kept our hopes up, and he was so sure that he was going to be all right that he made us feel that way, too.
To make his comeback, Paul Azinger underwent 6 months of chemotherapy, followed by 5 weeks of radiation treatment. It saved his life and rearranged his priorities.
That's what happens when you get sick, and you really, I don't know, your heart goes out to other people that have to deal with it, especially people that are younger than you.
His priorities now include reaching out to cancer patients, including 16-year-old Wes Edwards, whom Azinger befriended and invited to the tournament. Like his idol, Wes is tall, thin, charming, and bald from chemotherapy.
What he's done really inspires me. I mean, I see him out here playing, and I think that I can do the same.
The man called the Zinger also is an inspiration to fans and competitors.
I wanted to give him a big hug and a kiss, say welcome back, but I just shook his hand and patted him on the back and said, it's great to see you, Paul, welcome back. So, he's a good man.
He temporarily may have lost some magic on the greens, but not his sense of humor about winning the game of life or losing the game of golf.
I can come up with a million excuses. Chemo. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
No excuses needed for a man who stared his own mortality in the face and lived to laugh about it. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, Tulsa.
And that's the news. Tomorrow on Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood, naturalists who try to capture elusive songbirds on audio tape. Then on Face the Nation, we'll talk about health care, the crime bill, and the president's agenda with White House Chief of Staff Leon Panetta and Democratic Senators David Boren of Oklahoma and John Breaux of Louisiana. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
What's a quarter get you for breakfast these days?
Oh, wow.
For a quarter?
A grape.
I wouldn't have breakfast. Hey, that's America's favorite cereal. And you know it's less than a quarter? Really?
25 cents for breakfast ain't bad.
Okay, here's the kicker. Kellogg's Corn Flakes and Milk is less than 25 cents a serving.
25 cents? For the milk and the cereal?
So that's the breakfast I could buy for a quarter. Kellogg's Corn Flakes, just part of the value in having breakfast with Kellogg's. 4 bowls for $1?
That's definitely a bargain.
This advanced technology helps to diagnose arthritis. But to effectively relieve the minor pain of arthritis, use this, Advil. Advil contains the #1 doctor-prescribed ingredient in its class in non-prescription strength. Advil provides fast relief, and it works directly at the site of arthritis pain. And Advil is gentler on your stomach than aspirin. So for minor arthritis pain, trust Advil. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
My doctor said I didn't need surgery for my hemorrhoids. They weren't serious, and to use Preparation H.
Preparation H, trusted by millions to often help relieve the hemorrhoidal symptoms of itching, burning, and painful irritation for hours. Trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
You're still worried about denture odor? Come on, honey. Minty Double Action Polident controls denture odor and cleans tough stains. So try Double Action Polident. And in between soaks, wipe your dentures clean and minty fresh with Polident wipes.
Experience CBS News.
Fred Couples, hot off his victory at the Buick Open, competes at the PGA Championship.
To win it would be a dream come true.
Continuing tomorrow on CBS.
This is CBS.